without mentioning the Georgia Bulldogs. So next, let's kick it all down to Athens, where Kirby Smart and company, they held their own scrimmage this weekend. And all the buzz leading into this thing, it was all over Stetson Bennett not getting very many reps with the ones. It's all been Carson Beck. It's all been Brock Vandagriff. Vandagriff, of course, the second-year 5-star. Carson Beck, he's been in the program, I want to say 3 years now, and he's the one from Florida that Dan Mullen wanted, that Kirby snatched out from under the former Gator coach. So, but Carson Beck seems to be really have turned a corner where everybody is laser focused on Brock Vandagriff. He's a dual threat. He's got a huge arm. When's he going to make that leap? So they go into this Saturday scrimmage. We actually got video highlights here that Georgia tweeted out themselves. And this is just an aerial show. But it was Stetson Bennett that came out in the scrimmage and started for the Georgia Bulldogs, as you'd expect. And I say all that to say this, because we're so far away from the season. You know, we've got to take every bit of information we get with a grain of salt. And it was this time last year, Stetson Bennett, I know he didn't start for the Georgia Bulldogs. It was JT Daniels, but Stetson Bennett was running with the 4th team at this point in time. So, you know, maybe when you're seeing all these reports of Carson Beck and Brock Vandagriff getting all these reps with the starting unit, you know, they're really just trying to get those guys up to speed as quickly as possible. In the case that, you know, something drastically goes wrong with Stetson Bennett, he goes down to injury, what have you. But, you know, you just get the sense that the Georgia coaches are always pushing Stetson to let him know that he's got to stay on top of his game. And it's Mike Griffith is reporting here following the scrimmage, which was closed to the media, that Stetson took a bunch of sacks, was not particularly clean with his passing game, which is, of course, not what Georgia fans want to hear, but something we all have kind of grown accustomed to. But leading into this thing, you know, a lot of questions down there in Athens with the quarterback situation. It doesn't seem like we can ever escape this question in Athens. Stetson Bennett just won the national championship, but how's his status there as the starting quarterback? How's Kirby evaluating these quarterbacks? Let's get over to the Georgia coach.
It never changes with quarterback, guys. You could come here in 10 years from now. It's going to be the same thing as it was last year. It's decision-making, accuracy, leadership, intangibles. I mean, you know, great quarterbacks are accurate, and they make good decisions. And if you can make good decisions and be accurate, and you got good football players around them, then you're going to be, you know, a pretty good football player. I want to see them execute the offense, lead the offense, make plays with their feet when things break down, things that are difference makers for them, and overcome mistakes, because there'll be some adversity out there. But the good thing is those guys get an opportunity to do that every practice. Sometimes in a scrimmage, you don't even get put in bad situations. In practice, we're going to manufacture tough situations, and they get to do those.
And one other comment, because Carson Beck, like I said, he seems to be trending that to the point where it may be hard for Georgia to keep him off the field. He may have to get in there in some situations to showcase what he can do on the field. Let's kick it over here once again to Kirby on Carson Beck.
Well, I think he has really good composure. You know, Carson's never up, never down. I think that's a great quality on a quarterback. I've seen, you know, guys that are emotional and up and down like a roller coaster. He's pretty even keel. And to be honest, most of our quarterbacks are. There's no guy out there that loses it one way or the other, but he does a good job being very even keeled, and I think he understands the system. You know, he's another year in the system, so it comes natural to him. He's not nervous about what the huddle call is, what's my read, what's the motion, what's the shift. He's very cool, calm, and collected, and does a good job of managing those things with the offense. So I think he's earned some confidence and earned some confidence with the players.
And finally, a name all SEC fans know, because this guy's been either committed or rumored to commit or what have you to about half the league by this time. But Arik Gilbert, who missed last season, was not with the team. Of course, now he's back. He's bulked up. Sounds like he needs to continue to work on his conditioning, lose some weight. He was listed, I believe, at receiver with the first roster came out for spring, but he is now a tight end. And Kirby Smart gives the latest on Arik Gilbert in what could be, I mean, you're talking Gilbert, Brock Bowers, of course, the All-American. Darnell Washington, who's got All-American potential. Oscar Delp, the new signee, who I believe was, if he's not number one tight end, I think he was like 2 or 3. This could be just the greatest tight end group in the history of SEC football. So let's get over to Kirby talking the latest on Reed Gilbert.
The biggest hurdle for him has been the conditioning level. I think that's the biggest thing is like learning the playbook and the conditioning level. Catching balls, that's not like he can catch balls. He's a good athlete. He came back a little heavy, and he admittedly would tell you that. He's done a tremendous job of being in our cardio club and dropping weight. Probably, I'd hate to say, I don't know, somewhere between 65 and 70, 265 and 270, and he's dropping. And, like what's happening right now, he's starting to make more and more plays, but he's having to really work his stamina to be able to sustain during practice. And, I mean, like play after play after play after play he has to take. It's like, oh, man, I got to condition myself to get back, go again, burst, and run. But I've been, pleased with Brett, and Oscar have taken a tremendous load on, have gotten a lot of reps. We just think he's a tight end. I mean, at the end of the day, it's last year it was probably a greater deficit. It was something that he wanted to be more wide out. He also was much lighter, so he's a little heavier now. He's more physical now. He's a tight end. That's what he's probably going to develop as. There's a certain requirement as a receiver it takes to play receiver in terms of stamina, running every play, going to cutoff block. At tight end, our tight ends are receivers. They do play receiver, but they don't go out all the time, split out wide, and that's something that he was having to do. And he's comfortable in the role he's in right now, and he's really like he's got all the ways to go. He has not arrived, but he's come so far from not being able to execute a play to being able to execute a play, know what to do, and then hurry back and get the call on the next play and line up. I'm just proud of the way he's fought to learn it. He's fighting stamina out there because he's taking so many reps, and I'm really just pleased with his growth.
And make no mistake, hey, with Todd Monken, who he did an outstanding job. I don't know how he was not a semifinalist for the Broyles Award given to the nation's top assistant coach. I know the defense overshadowed everything the offense did last year, but Georgia had one hell of an efficient offense. With his NFL background, he loves to use these tight ends and knows how to use them and puts them in so many positions to make a play. We all know what Brock Bowers did last season, and Darnell Washington, he didn't catch a ton of balls, but he made his presence felt on the field for the Bulldogs. You got to think that Todd Monken's a kid in the candy store with all these potential elite tight ends to use this fall in Athens. And again, I have no idea how anybody's going to guard all these guys when they see the field in Athens next season.